Welcome everybody to this customer conversation at ConnectFX 2020. I'm super excited to have Harminder Bhavra join us from CEDA International.
And he's going to talk about FieldFX and their experiences implementing the product. Harmon, welcome.
Thanks, Travis. Glad to be here.
Great to have you here. Great to have you. I thought we'd start out by letting you give everybody an overview of who CEDA is and what you guys do.
Yeah, for sure. So CEDA provides maintenance, turnaround, and project services for oil sands, upstream oil and gas, petrochemical, and many other types of industries out there related to oil and gas. We have 6 core service lines that make us the leader in industrial maintenance, turnaround planning, construction services. And in 2019, we were the winner of Canada's Best Managed Companies here in Canada.
Yeah, that's great. That's super awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Well, before you guys selected FieldFX, and I certainly want to get into the modules that you guys picked to implement, but before we get into that, maybe set the stage and give us an overview of what CEDA was doing operationally and system-wise before FieldFX.
Yeah, so in 2013, we actually implemented a full ERP system with a bolt-on field ticketing software that managed our dispatching, ticketing, and EM solution. That's what we were using prior to using FieldFX. The solution just didn't work for us, and we made the decision to tear out the field ticketing aspect of the ERP and replace it with FieldFX.
Cool, cool. What modules did you guys implement at CEDA from FieldFX?
From FieldFX, so on Go Live we had schedule and dispatch, e-ticketing, and EAM.
Yeah, cool. Kind of the classic flagship modules. That's great.
Yep.
So as far as the implementation is concerned, we see a lot of customers that end up going location by location. They roll out a chunk of users and then another chunk of users. But CEDA did something pretty unique in that they took a big bang approach. Can you talk a little bit about that? What was the motivator for doing that, and how did that go?
Yeah. So we, again, are integrated into an ERP system at the time. And so having 2 systems integrate into our main ERP system would have caused issues for us. So we made the decision just to do the big bang approach. We ripped off the Band-Aid and everyone went live on day 1. It worked for us. It went really well, very, very smooth. We were able to invoice a client the next day if we needed to. We had our first invoice out of the system within 3 days. I thought it went really well. I was able to go on vacation the week after we went live with little interruption. So, very good project team that I had that was able to support me and get the system implemented on time and over the line.
Well, that's always good to hear. It's great if you can take a vacation during Go Live. I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
How many locations did you guys roll out?
So in total, we had 14, including our corporate office and about 10 regional offices and 3 major site locations up in Fort McMurray. And a total user count was about 395 people on day 1.
Got it. And then can you talk a little bit about the team structure, the implementation team structure, and what you felt like worked well as far as how you staffed the actual project to get everything out the door, configured and out the door?
Yeah, so we had 6 people on the implementation team, 3 from IT that helped with our backend configuration, 10 of that IT stuff that, to be honest, I don't know anything about, which really good to have good support there. The other 3 members was myself and 2 other people from our enterprise transformation team who were tasked to basically manage all the CEDA systems and bring in processes and procedures and efficiencies within the business. And we kind of knew the majority of what every role would be doing. So it was really a good compliment that we could go to IT and say, here's how it works in the field, and IT was able to develop it for us.
Great, cool. Oh, that's awesome. So the team, sounds like you had about 6 people doing that and doing a lot of the tactical stuff. I mean, the configuration piece, I know our team was helping on that as well to some extent. But there's a bigger piece to it, or should I say maybe a softer piece to it, the change management piece of it, and it just can't be emphasized enough how important that is. Can you talk a little bit about to change management, what you saw there, maybe some success stories, lessons learned around change management?
For sure. So one of the items that I was very adamant about was communication. We've done other implementations where the communication just wasn't up to the level that it needed to be, and we were communicating on a weekly basis. So it was really important that people understood that there was change coming, a new system, and they were really, taking a lot of that communication, depending on how we gave it to them, in full stride, and they accepted it, and it was really good. The second portion of change management was just the learning structure, or the training structure that we implemented. So instead of going down a path of a single type of training, we gave users 3 ways. So we had our manuals that we created so that they could click their way through the sandbox environment and understand how the system worked. The second way was through video. So we actually created a video that taught users how to get through the system as well. Again, trying to get all the different boxes that people had for training. The third way was actually one-on-one or classroom training. And that worked really well because some people just needed to understand and have a handheld through the system and the process that we had developed. So for the fourth item, we implemented using super users. And as you can imagine, implementing 395 users at one time over 14 locations would be impossible for any project team to attain. So instead, we seconded one person from each of our locations who was a superstar in our prior solution to become a super user. We gave full end-to-end training with the system in each of their roles to make them understand the entire process. The advantage of this is that any user that has an issue within their location has someone that they can go to that is a peer. And if not someone from the corporate office forcing them to do this new process, it's someone that's with them on a day-to-day basis to help them through and really gain that adoption and using the system to its highest capacity.
Yeah, I think that's great to be able to leverage your own knowledge and expertise across other people that are boots on the ground at those locations. It's really a force multiplier for everything that you have in your head and the 6 people that are on your team. Certainly, it's a great way to leverage that knowledge and experience. So it's super good to hear that. And we certainly see that with other customers, and of course in the location by location rollout strategy for sure. So once you guys did go live, I mean, you had an existing system in place. Did you run that existing system for some period of time? A lot of people run 2 systems in parallel for quite a while. What did you guys end up doing there with that legacy system?
Yeah, so for the legacy system is we gave it an end date as to when tickets could be entered into the system, and basically put the switch on in February of 2018, saying this is the new system as a go forward for FieldFX.
Nice.
Cleanup that we needed to manage for the prior system, and as a team we decided, I believe it was about 4 months of time for administrators to go in, clean up any of the issues. And once those administrators saw the power, how powerful FieldFX was and how easy it was to use, I think they cleaned it up in about 30 days. So within 30 days, we were able to shut off the old system, use it for reporting or whatever we needed it for. But essentially within 30 days, that old system was totally cleaned up.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. You didn't have to run that system in parallel for an extended period of time. It's really fantastic. They had the confidence to shut it down too in FieldFX. It's great. How about maybe speak to some of the benefits that you guys have seen since rolling out FieldFX? I mean, you guys have been live for quite a while now. What are some of the benefits that you're seeing commonplace?
Yeah, so one of the biggest ones for me is time, is getting people's time back in the day. We've been able to configure FieldFX to do multiple processes where our prior system would be multiple clicks or multiple pages. And being able to give people more time back in their day because we made the system more efficient has been a benefit that we knew was going to be there, but I don't think it was as big as we expected it to be. We've been able to streamline a lot of processes in that sense.
That's awesome.
Reporting has been amazing for us. We ran a couple initiatives last year to help with some labor initiatives, and FieldFX drove all of the data for that. We were able to use it on daily calls and really get some really good and robust reporting out of the system. And it really helped us to streamline our business. The mobile application also, we understood would have an impact to our DSO. I think that we've had a bigger impact than we expected. Having the ability to capture real-time information in the system and bring it back to the back office, be able to adjust it and have a ticket that's ready to be invoiced within hours instead of days has really helped us overall.
Great.
And the last item is the rework on our tickets. Just due to the price book and the relationships that we've built within the system, our rework is a lot less. We're getting a lot more accuracy within our tickets, So there's a lot less back and forth with our clients. We're presenting them with a more cleaner ticket at the end of the day when they're ready to sign off on them, compared to having multiple adjustments on that ticket.
Yeah, I think the cleaner ticket and accurate ticket, that's certainly got to help with the DSO number, and it's certainly got to help with improving cash flow. So it's definitely many of the benefits that we tout every day with it in the marketplace. So it's really great to hear straight from a customer's mouth, especially one as successful as CEDA. So Harminder, any lessons learned that you would share with future implementation teams for customers down the road that might buy FieldFX and are endeavoring to implement it?
Yeah, for sure. So number one is you can't solve for every situation that arises. I have my rule is 80%. I need to be able to solve 80% of issues. And if we can tackle that 20% at a later time, we'll deal with it. People continue to come up with the one-offs or it'd be nice if it could do this or that or the other. Deal with the 80%, understand that you're going to at least achieve that, and then work to achieving that other 20%. The second item is don't overcommit and underdeliver. Understand that it's a system implementation and that things are going to go sideways, and you just have to deal with it. So don't think you can implement FieldFX in 3 months. It's not going to happen. It takes some time, it takes some setup and understanding and training and stuff like that. So just make sure you give yourself enough time to do the implementation correctly.
Yeah, I like that point you made about not boiling the ocean. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. Don't bite off more than you can chew, for sure.
Yeah.
My third is clean data. So it's really important that you capture all of your data into one file, one Excel doc, whatever you're going to use, and make sure you scrub it. From my perspective, dirty data is dirty results. So we don't want to have a mishmash of information in there. We want to have something that's nice and clean and easy for your end users. The last item is understand your company's process. It was amazing how many people in our company don't understand our cradle-to-grave approach for tickets. So it's really important that if you're going to lead an implementation, that you know how all of your processes work, who are the key people in it, and what processes do they have to manage in order to get your information into the system.
So Harminder, did you guys have your processes well documented prior to implementing FieldFX, or is that something you did during implementation?
So we did. We had a version of it, and we ended up taking it away and making it simpler. We had consultants do it for us at our first implementation of a field ticketing software, and we basically took those and revamped them so that it was simpler for us to understand them.
That's great to hear about the processes. Harminder, would you say that given that you had these processes in place, it sounds like they were pretty well defined, did you find that you needed to change the business processes to meet the capabilities of the software, or were you satisfied with the software's ability to be configurable and adaptable to the way the business runs at CEDA?
I think that's one of the greatest benefits of FieldFX is that you have the ability to configure the system as your business is running, which was a very advantageous to us because we think everything predefined. It was as simple as saying, here you go, this is how we do things, and FieldFX was able to manage that for us.
That's great. Yeah, that extensibility I think is key, and configurability to meet the needs of the business process as opposed to the reverse is certainly a huge advantage. Well, all this has been super great, super helpful. I'm sure future FieldFX implementations will benefit from it, and I'm personally very excited to see where you take it at CEDA there, and look forward to speaking again. Thank you so much for taking the time, Harminder.
Thank you so much, Travis.